Alright guys, time for the headliner event of the Comic-Con Season 4 stuff, and that is the Pokemon Gym Leader Challenge. I'm going to try to speed through this initial talking part really quick and try to get it under 10 minutes, good grief. As far as the rules and stuff, Sleep Clause, Evasion Clause, I didn't see One-Hit KO or Hacks Item or Pinch Berries and stuff like that noted, but I assume they were at least discouraged. And as far as the guys who were banned, Excadrill, Blaziken were banned, and I didn't see Thundurus on there. As most of you guys who frequent this channel and or the Zat know, I have some fairly severe, moderate to severe, disdain of competitive 5th, and don't keep up with it much at all. So this is going to be my first actual playing 5th against people. And it's not on Wi-Fi, it's over local wireless. It's completely different, and I actually mean that when I say it's completely different. No team reveal, level rounding to level 50, so that also tweaks EV spreads and stuff a little bit maybe. So a little bit of a different animal there than playing over Wi-Fi. And there was also a tournament. This is one of two Pokemon DS related events. And last year I did the Comic-Con tournament and the PixelCon Gym Leader Challenge. So this year I figured, well, I'm just going to do the Gym Leader Challenge because it's a little bit more ad hoc. It'll let me go in and out if there's like a panel I want to go see or something. And more importantly, it was 3 versus 3 singles. So that was, as you guys know, I don't play 5th. So yeah, I had to get this entire team from scratch. I had no existing guys I could say, okay, I pick you, let's go. Wasn't gonna happen. I had to make the team from scratch for this. This was 3v3 singles. The tournament, there was some confusion over whether it was going to be 4v4 doubles or 4v4 singles. It kind of reminded me of the situation where Xerxes' library tournament was 3v3 doubles, because this wound up to be 4v4 singles. I don't think I would have played in it anyway, even if I had known that. Although, because it was singles, I wouldn't have had to make, a completely different team. I could have just thrown one more guy on there. But I don't think I would have played in it anyway, just for sake of time and wanting to do other stuff. But anyway, so Gym Leader Challenge. So we're going to be up against, themed teams, likely monotype, although I think there was one that wasn't monotype, but it still had a theme, somewhat anyway. So I wasn't going to get too anti-metagame on it, because it's not really metagame, it's versus a bunch of monotype teams. At the same time though, I wasn't going to counter team each type. I just, we're not going to sit here and breed up 24 guys for and not even, well, actually I had to breed up any of the potential 17 types to do an anti that, so that would be 51 guys. Yeah, we're not going to be doing that. So I just wanted to breed a solid mix of 3 guys, or not even a mix, just a solid 3 guys who I thought could go in and just wreck face pretty quick. Since people are in line behind you, so it's nice if you can try to get the game over with pretty quick, get a quick decision on the game. So I guess we'll talk briefly about the team that I wound up using, and then we also need, well, actually, why don't we do the shoutouts first? We'll do some shoutouts first. So let's see. Well, no, because that's going to reveal the team if I do shoutouts first. Okay, whatever. Team first. First up, some of you from the Zat know, I was cosplaying Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia, which is my favorite RPG ever. So that was great to finally get that cosplay together. I need to make some upgrades to it, and then maybe I'll have actual videos of it. Sorry, no footage of it this time. There may be some for PixelCon, which is coming up after Comic-Con this year. Anyway, so because I was cosplaying Lloyd, I had to also have Tales of Symphonia inspired nicknames. So the lead, I wanted to use a Uxie with dual screen memento, and that was going to be named Colette, which if you've played Tales of Symphonia, you know it's a pretty nice nickname due to the move pool, and it's also blonde kind of. So anyway, EV spread 248 HP, 160 defense, 102 special defense. If that sounds a little bit wonky with the 248, it's because this was level 50, so I actually tried to somewhat optimize these EV spreads for level 50. I think I caught this one on Platinum. I did RNG this one because since it's a one-of guy per playthrough, I kinda had to get it right. So I did indeed get it right. I got a bold one, and it actually has HPI 70, which is another reason I wanted to go for that one. And I thought about HP Ice versus T-Bolt, which is going to be better. HP Ice would be better against dragons, but T-Bolt has a fairly higher base power. I kept thinking about Taunt Aerodactyl. I didn't want to run White Herb because I think it's White Herb. No, Mental Herb. Yeah, I didn't want to run Mental Herb because it only lets me set up one screen, and then I don't get to Memento out. So I figured, well, that's one guy. I think I'd rather have the added utility of Light Clay. So I knew I was going to go with that. And just in case I did run into Arrow, I picked T-Bolt for its 4th move. So that way I could have some sort of offense and do some damage, maybe get a pair of hacks, something like that. And so it's just supposed to set up dual screens and then pass out to one of the other 2 guys. The primary receiving target, and this is probably going to be the only Dream World ability I use ever. As some of you know, I really hate Dream World, and rag on it all the time. But anyway, so Multi-Scale Dragonite is the next guy. This was going to be Lloyd, but since I wound up just having to vanilla breed it because I couldn't figure out how to do anything else really, wound up being a female one, so I figured, well, who's the female bruiser in Tales of Symphonia? That would have to be Presea. So she's a beast. She has the move beast, and this thing was kind of a beast anyway. EV spread. At this point I was a little bit fed up with it, so I just went max attack, and when I say max attack, I mean 255. 188 speed which is more speed than I wanted to run, or more EVs than I wanted to put in. Let me put it that way. Because the IV was like, I don't know, 15 or so. It was horrible. Like all the ones who had good attack had low speed, and all the ones who had good speed had low attack. It was a mess. But anyway, so we had and then 67 HP. Its moveset, nothing too out of the ordinary. Just Dragon Dance plus 3 attacks. Those being Outrage, Earthquake, and I went with Fire Punch over Fire Blast. Primarily because of accuracy and because Ferrothorn is pretty resilient versus Fire Blast anyway, and I wanted to run Lumberry and not Life Orb, so I wasn't really too keen on running Mixed Knight. Lumberry to help with, in case something lives, wants to burn, wants to try to sleep me, or in case I just somehow get stalled out of Outrage turns, I can just heal that off with Lumberry, so that would be nice too. And in case Dragonite does fall, with multi-scale, dual screens, and Memento, to you think that would let me get a fairly consistent double DD off, but I don't know how often that happens. So then, last guy, I wanted it to just be someone who can come in and back clean up, and just like against a team that doesn't have 6 guys who can potentially answer the call, maybe pull off the rest of the sweep. And I picked Scizor, Swords Dance Scizor, just because once he gets a Swords Dance up, Bullet Punch, if you don't have the right stuff, it can just wipe through the rest of the team. For the EVs, 252 attack, I went a little bit more speed than I normally run on Scizor, 144, 114 HP for the rest. And this guy, I think he was a GTS clone of Cutman? Yeah, a GTS clone of my Scizor that I normally use. I actually had a backup copy of it, incredibly. So I just was able to take that, EV it up, and throw it in 5th. So and Dragonite, obviously, with multi-scale, had to be bred in 5th. So that's the team. I guess the Scizor's moveset: Swords Dance, Bug Bite, Brick Break, Bullet Punch. Nothing too complex there. Just beat stuff down. So some shoutouts that I to some members of TPX without whom I would not have gotten this team together. First and foremost, I gotta thank Darkness for hunting on the Dream World for a multi-scale Dragonite. He wound up just not being able to find one and just bred me one from his. So thank him for that. Without that, I wouldn't have had multi-scale. I would have had to have Inner Focus, which at the time I was pretty content to have. But looking back, if I had had Inner Focus, I'm pretty sure I would have lost a couple of games because of that I did win. Next up, I needed some way to get Light Clay, and Andrew was kind enough Andrew slash Babama is his YouTube channel. Was kind enough to let me borrow his Galvantula, which is a freaking pro Compound Eyes guy. He got that Light Clay off of Golett on the second try, like an absolute pro. It was sweet, and I actually got that the night before, the Friday. I actually got it during, I think, the Channel Awesome panel. We were just sitting in on that, waiting for Little Karibo's stuff to begin. I was able to get that there, and then Makar loaned me some of his power items on 5th. I didn't exactly have time to rack up all the BP and do that, and the night before the con, or night before the Friday night. So he was kind enough to lend me his power items, bracer, and some other stuff I needed to train up Dragonite with the appropriate EVs there, because I wasn't looking forward to grinding up to 255. I think I had Bokerus. Anyway, so thanks to those three, Darkness, Andrew, and Makar, for making this video a possibility. Without them, I probably would not have had. Well, I guess those were all mainly helping the Dragonite, but since Dragonite was kind of the core of the team, yeah, they pretty much helped me build this core of the team. So let's see. I think that just about covers it. All right, we got it under 12 minutes. I guess that's acceptable. So let's now cut into these games. Oh, the prize. The prize was a shiny Bulbasaur. So we're gonna narrate over these, and I'm gonna have the same maxim going into each fight, but we'll narrate over them anyway. Since if I narrated the tournament videos last year, where I knew I was gonna do the same setup initially, I guess we'll narrate these too. So let's jump into that and hope you enjoy. Alright, so just like last year, we're going to be post-battle versus recording these with the camcorder instead of doing it while the battle's going on, because that's a little bit awkward, and, you know, this way I can just step over somewhere else and do it on my own time. Anyway, so he's got a Fortress lead, which is pretty okay. I'm going to go ahead and throw up my Reflect. I don't really want rocks coming up. Fortunately, he goes for Toxic Spikes instead, which is awesome. That affects nobody on this team. One Levitator, one Steel, one Flyer, so I'm not concerned about T-Spikes one little bit. Go ahead and switch in Persea. I'm not going to Memento out when that thing is probably not going to be able to hurt me anyway. So I pull one Dragon Dance as he sets up a second layer. He continues to set up Spikes instead of Stealth Rock, which seems weird to me. I've shown him two guys who are not affected by either move, so he must be kind of concerned about my third. But I pull a second DD. I know that 5th Sturdy is going to act like a Focus Sash on him, so I'm not going to be able to take him out in one hit. So I settle for 2 DDs. I don't know if he's Bug or Steel at this point, but either way, Fire Punch is going to roll over stuff. So he gets a Gyro Ball off, which I was a little bit afraid of, but it just didn't do anything. Despite me having 2 Dragon Dances, it just didn't hurt. Finish off the Fortress. And now we'll get to see if he's Steel or Bug. I guess you saw from the verse record that he is indeed Steel. So Lucario comes in, and expecting some sort of priority here, but expecting to live it, and despite the crit, I do live. So that took away the Gyro Ball took away some multi-scale, and then the crit took away my Reflect, but I was still able to live it pretty convincingly. Sends in a Metagross, and I thought about Earthquake, just because I was a little bit afraid of Air Balloon. I don't know if Air Balloon gives the signal that it's levitating or not, because again, I don't play 5th. So I just went with Fire Punch, hoping it would kill, because that would hit even if it was Air Balloon. Turned out to be Rocky Helmet, so no problem anyway. And looks like that's a win on the first attempt, so that's good. I was a little bit afraid of Steel, since, you know, my primary offense is Dragon, but looks like we were able to get through it just fine with coverage moves. Alright, so we got the next one here, and this one is against Ghost, and this guy was a beast. Let's see what he's got leading off here. I think it's a Chandelure, which Ghost is obviously not going to be a good matchup versus Uxie here, but I should be able to live something, and I'm going to go ahead and, you know, stick to my gun, set up screens. I don't think he would be Shadow Tag since that's not released, and I don't think any of the people there would be jerk enough to actually use it anyway. But he is sub and Calm Mind, so, I'm going to need to break that sub, and then I know Chandelure is not too bulky, so I should be able to do that anyway. I go ahead and set up Reflect just in case he has a physical ghost, something like Ice Punch, Noir, yeah, I don't know. Probably could have gotten away with not setting that up. Since he does have a sub up, I'm not going to Memento, however, as that's going to block the stat drops. He continues to Calm Mind. And I've got Light Screen up, I've got Multi-Scale active, so, thinking about as far as Ghost, as far as speeds go, I think at this time I'm assuming Ghost. Did I know that? I think I may have actually known. Oh, that's right. They actually had a little thing telling what type they were. So I'll go ahead and go for 1DD, and that Shadow Ball hits and does quite a bit. That's with Multi-Scale on. So I'm probably gonna take about twice that from this next one. EQ the sub, make it go away. And this Shadow Ball should hurt about twice as much as that previous one did, and takes me down to not a whole lot. So, I'm pretty sure though that where am I at? I think I'm at +1. +1 DD Earthquake should take out Chandelure. I saw Lefty, so I know it wasn't Sash. And what comes out next? It is a Dusclops. That's the middle form. That's the stupid Eviolite. At least whatever. Anyway, I Outrage, and I get a crit, which is going to be a recurring theme in these. I'll probably have a little recap on that at the end of all these. So, thanks to the crit, I'm able to kill the Dusknoir. Otherwise, it would have been pretty dicey. I don't know if I would have pulled it out. And if it's going to kill Eviolite, I don't know, whatever. It is going to kill Golurk, because Golurk is not too greatly fast. I forget if it learns any priority or not. But even if so, I did have Reflect and whatnot up. So that ends that. Looks like a crit probably won me that game, but we'll see. That's going to be a recurring theme later on as well. Alright, so the next match we're going to show is versus Fighting. And right before this, I had a game versus Dragon, but that wound up to be a loss. And I don't know if it was I didn't want to film a loss at the time, or if I didn't want to take the time to film a loss when I could just jump right into fighting. So I guess that was some combination of the two, but we will see Dragon later in a rematch, so don't worry. Anyway, so I think this was the same girl who was the normal type gym leader last year at PixelCon, and she was pretty awesome, but we'll get into that later. So it starts off with yeah, we're not going to scream today, guys, I'm sorry. Starts off with that thing, and sets up a sub. Definitely fearing Bulk Up right now, because I feel like it's probably going to be its best set against me right here. So go ahead and switch Persea out after setting up Reflect, since it's fighting and, you know, want to get physical stuff up for sure. And I know I need to go for at least 1DD. With 1DD, I should be able to outspeed pretty much anything fighting, really. What is it? Mian Xiao, I think, is a new guy, and I think that one's pretty fast. But fighting as a monotype just doesn't have a lot of fast guys. So, you know, barring some Scarfers and stuff, 1DD should be fairly above the majority of fighting guys. So, I'm just gonna pull for 1DD, since she's gonna be matching my stuff with bulk ups anyway. And it's gonna break the sub after 1 outrage, which is nice. If that had taken 2 outrages, that would have been really bad. But anyway, one will suffice, and after Lefty's this turn, she's pretty much back up to full. And we gotta see how much this outrage does, and looks like it does between a 4th and a 3rd. And then from full HP, she gets a crit. I don't know if multi-scale gets negated by crits or not. I'm gonna assume it doesn't, but obviously it did double damage, and then on top of that, it broke through Reflect. So that did 4 times the amount of damage that I would have preferred. And this next one's gonna finish me off here. So that see, that was 44. I don't know, I don't know. It looks like it would have been a 4 or possibly 5 hit KO, and I think another outrage might have finished it off there. So I don't know. We would have had to see. It would have been interesting without the crit. But anyway, the critical hits, they do happen, in fact. And here I was surprised at how little Colette took. That it wasn't a 2-hit KO. I know Reflect is up, but despite the +2 or +3 bulk ups, and then still not being a 2-hit KO, I couldn't help but laugh at that one. So I sent in Uxie just to hit it with a special attack, since you know, it does have bulk ups up. Reflect wears off, and I probably should have set up Reflect again. In retrospect, if I had set up Reflect again, I don't know, it may have actually been decent for me, but I don't know. I probably still would have lost, but probably should have set Reflect anyway. Yeah, if you go back and rewind that, I don't see a hit point bar after that last Thunderbolt. But evidently it was like a 1 or 2 HP live, so that was craziness. Anyway, so Machamp comes in, which pretty much will cap the game. If you don't have a super effective attack, Machamp lives one of pretty much anything. I do go ahead and pull a Swords, just in case, since this is my last guy. And I forgot to mention Zelos Scizor's item, Fighting Gem, and I forgot to give a shout out to Malkin for helping me get that Fighting Gem instead of me having to search all over for it. So thank you, Malk, for the Fighting Gem. I left you out on the shoutouts. But anyway, so that's gonna end that with a nice dynamic punch. Fortunately, I was at least able to hit it and show off the Fighting Gem. But anyway, thanks to Verse Record, I do get to see that she's got an Infernape, so that'll be some helpful information. If I'm able to get a rematch later, it lets me know that I definitely need to keep Dragonite alive and prioritize it living over Scizor. And here we have a little cutaway to these awesome Griffling balloons, which are totally sweet. Alright, the next one is against Steven, NecroStevo on YouTube. Make sure you go and check him out because he is quite awesome. This time though, he's got some grass types heading out our way, and so I figured I'll go with Lumberry Scizor for the lead here. Try to absorb a sleep powder, pull his swords, and start going to town on stuff. And instead, he brings the city of Tuscaloosa down on Scizor and knocks out 90% of its life. Are you kidding me? So that was a lot more offense than I was expecting out of that thing. Dancing Duck over there. So I'm going to pull out of there and maybe save him later for a bullet punch on something quick. Since it's grass, I'm definitely afraid of Subseed. So I'll keep that in the back of my mind as well. Now that I've seen offensive Ludicolo, it's at the back of the mind instead of the front. Anyway, so I set up Light Screen while he had, not Empoleon, Ludicolo in there. And now I set up Reflect as Ferrothorn is here, since it's probably going to be Gyro Balling instead of, I think it can learn some special moves, but I think it actually gets T-Bolt. But anyway, definitely more afraid of Gyro Ball, especially since Dragonite's going to be coming in and dancing up. So I'm definitely going to go for at least one DD. I don't know if I'll go for 2 DDs just yet. But I should be able to live a couple of Gyro Balls, at least probably 2 or 3, I would think. Which should let me get up enough to, I don't know, it doesn't have to know that that's Fairy that has 30, so I should live a couple of these, unless, one of them's a critical hit. So I'll save you guys the theory mod on that. You can probably think about it for yourselves after you see the what was left on the team. But I go ahead and pretty much fodder out Zelos, Bug Bite, and Iron Barbs just to keep Brick Break a secret in case that's going to be a helpful thing later. For some reason, certainly it would do some better damage to Pharaoh, especially with Fighting Gem. And then just to deny him the kill, I'll also use Memento to get Colette out of there, in classic Colette fashion of sacrificing herself for the good of the team. So that is going to make a three-game losing streak there, right? So we're in a tailspin right now, and I think that makes it a perfect time, especially when you consider that everything after this is post-tournament stuff. Should make a perfect time to make a cut and do another video of these, especially since we're already at about 30 minutes. So this video we just had the introductory remarks and 4 battles here. So next video we're just gonna have some battles and perhaps some concluding remarks. But another thing I wanted to note, and this is just something that I think it happened after this game. It was actually one of my other friends from that I took Japanese with. Was sort of talking some smack about how he kicked Steven's derriere, shall we say, and Steven kind of confronted him about that. There were little kids around, and that wasn't very classy or very appropriate to be saying, especially when Steven beat him the first time, and he had to have a rematch to beat him, and Steven certainly didn't have any trash talk when he won. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool, pretty classy. It was nice to see somebody representing Comic-Con with a lot of class, and that's something I like to see. So I wanted to make a note of it. So check out his channel again, NecroStevo. I guess I'll put a link in the description. And I'll see you guys for the second half of the Kami-Con Gym Leader battles and see if I can finish all 8 badges. I've already got 3 losses so far, so some rematches are going to be needed. See you guys then. Later days.